Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to the January 12th, 2023 Staff and Board of Trustees meeting, starting at just a couple of minutes early. Well, actually, it's right at noon now. So be sure and go through the abstracts and the invoices, and we will work on paying the bills later. Today, I'm going to start with Mike. Mike, what have you got for us?
Not a whole lot, as far as building permits, so it's giving me some time to work on transferring files over to the county and what I call my naughty list, which is open permits that I have to put people down for. So good with that. Ryan and I have been also working on the some type of system for our new operating permits to do 1203, 2023. At this point, we sent something over to Natalie about multi-unit buildings, getting their maintenance and owners to take some responsibility, or at least burden some of the responsibility of making sure that each individual apartment is up to standards as far as smoke, having extinguishers, smoke and carbon monoxide detectors and all of that. So we also have some type of system that we will be doing. We're going to get through this year with trying to set dates or set certain weeks that certain businesses or the multi-unit facilities set it ahead of time so that we know when we're going to be going in there doing the inspections, so they also know and are prepared. We're trying to take this year as somewhat of a trial, so that we can come to you folks the end of the year and say, hey, look, this is how it's been working out. Do we want to charge for these or not? Is it more of a burden for Brian and I? Is it taking more time? Is it more burden for the village? Just so kind of gathering information this year. The only real other thing I have is I gave a report to the planning board that I'm sure Susan will touch on as far as the effects of low density residential area, subdivision in the low density residential area with the new sewer project. As you know, if a lot is has the ability to have sewer, then lots are allowed to be smaller. They're allowed to be, I think, 0.68 acres instead of 1.3 acres. So it's the effects of, can people subdivide their lot more without having to come in to get a variance or whatnot? So we try to get those effects. If you want me to give you a presentation, I can do that at the next meeting. Otherwise, I went through most of this if you want to check out the planning board meeting. And describe
The presentation at that, and we can just watch that video.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Okay.
Take a look at that.
Yeah.
That was
If you
well
want me to come
done.
to the board of trustees, I have no problem doing that either, so.
Okay.
Did Brent pipe in on that a little bit?
No, Brent wasn't there when I gave the presentation. You know, whether the units are available or not, who knows? I don't know. I don't know if you guys know or what. I don't even know if Brent.
I think we're allowed so many thousand gallons a day. So once we get to that, we have to negotiate or ask for more usage or capacity to be able to flow down that line.
Well, just from East Shore and Cuba Heights Road, without getting a variance or a special permit or whatnot, there was an increase of about 54 lots that could. Now, of course, I can't figure in some of the farmland that's up on East Shore Drive. They could come in and get a cluster subdivision. That's going to be handled by the planning board if they do something like that. So it was helpful. It was helpful for me to go through this. I think it was helpful for the planning board to get that information. So I believe they're going to discuss that more at the next meeting.
Some of that up in there is going to be real kind of convoluted. If you look at that upper left corner of that map there could be areas, or even on the left side of East Shore Drive, there could be areas where the house was built in town has to come through the village right away, and that's okay. But then, you know, that subdivided property could also have a house in the village on the same token. So it's dependent on, because the way the census went through to incorporate the village is relative to what jurisdictional it is in. So it's going to be a challenge, to say the least.
Yeah, so originally the village was built upon the residences within the village, not the property within.
Right, the census, and that was just basically road frontal properties.
Okay.
Like this lot goes all the way back into here. This
Yeah.
is the town, now this is the village.
Right,
The village was formed by the water district at the time.
right. And that would be based on the residences. That makes sense. I had never really thought about that, but yeah.
Yeah, so some of them are gonna be a little tricky on where, I mean, you almost have to pull a survey at some point. Where do you get your permit from? And the reason why I asked if Brent chimed in is because he would know the agreement on the capacity that was allotted for the sewer expansion project.
Yeah.
I think it's 35,000 gallons a day. It just rings a bell to me. And that's split up between the town of Lansing and Young's. But go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm just gonna say, I mean, you're right, some of the farmland has the frontage in the village, within the village, but they may have 40, 50 acres that are actually in the town. So in most cases, when that happens, or we have a building permit, or we have a special permit, it's kind of I stay in contact with the town and we kind of, we both review it. I would imagine if there's a huge project, they probably have to go through both municipalities to get approval.
Right.
And it'd be some type of combination, and at that point,
That's what Young's,
Brett would.
Right.
that's what Young's doing.
Yeah. The driving force for my investigation on this is frontage. Most of the time, if you have, let's say a lot that's on the corner of Black Chin and East Shore Drive, you have increased frontage, therefore you can, now that the lot size is half of what is required, you generally can add 4 or 5 more possible.
I don't think you'll see any subdivisions on the Bolton Estates. I think there's covenant restrictions on there that don't allow for subdivisions.
Probably right.
That's why those are like 13, 14 acre parcels, and I don't think they can be subdivided. I'm not 100%.
Oh, you're probably right, and there's the same conditions happen with some of the arteries coming off of Cuga Heights Road. You know, you still have more frontage, and it's possible to do that, but some of them aren't realistic. I mean, if you're talking about, say, down by Twin Glens, it's not realistic that someone is going to subdivide that. One, it's gonna be almost impossible on some of those gorges to build on. So this is just kind of a general overview of the effect of having a smaller lot regulation size for when the sewer goes in, so.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll watch the video this afternoon and taking your presentation, and I'll let everyone know about the starting time, so they can just jump to it and go in it if they want to.
I gave like 4 different examples of what I've looked into.
Good, that's perfect. There's no sense doing it.
Take it however you can with it, and
That was from the 9th, correct?
Yeah, that's the last one. Okay.
I'll jump in just to cover, because that was the majority of the planning board, was your presentation. And you're right, there are deed restrictions. I remember when that was developed, I was the real estate broker.
Oh, nice.
Well, no, actually, it was the Crossmore property.
Right.
So long story short, there are deed restrictions.
Yes.
And that's why the lots are big, with the intention of, I think initially, and it could be changed, you know, someone wanted the 5-acre lot, for instance, and build a small unit property. Intention of building bigger if they wanted to, otherwise.
If I recall, Bolton Point is buying that piece of land down on the lake. They were originally gonna try to buy that and subdivide off a section, a sliver of it, to defray some of the cost of the initial purchase. And they're ultimately buying the whole chunk, and I don't know if the deed restrictions prevented that.
Anyway, so,
Yep.
point well taken.
Yeah, they expect it to go through the next couple of months. To finish.
Yeah, I guess it's like a 700-page abstract.
Right, yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah, there's a lot of history there. Probably predates the 1900s,
It does.
sure.
Anyway,
And that's kind of, unless someone has questions for me, I mean, everything's pretty much status quo in the village right now as far as projects go.
I'll bring up a subject with you. Mike and I are completing a survey from the county. They are looking at code enforcement administration shared services throughout the county. So they're surveying all the municipalities and their code enforcement officers. And Mike and I are going to get together and submit our surveys so that we're in sync, and just kind of saying, some municipalities it might work, but other municipalities it's not going to work, and we don't think it would really work for the village. However, that resource might be available down the road. If we ever do need some support, if they create a position or a department or an office or something where they can support, you might be able to. But right now, we really don't need it. We're doing just fine. So anyway, that's the only thing.
Yeah, without getting ugly, I mean, we can always say we can send them this report as soon as they send us the report I need for airport and everything else, so, without getting too ugly.
Tit for tat.
Mike, there's no need for that.
Please strike that.
Let's back up the recording. No, that's okay. So,
Talks like Charlie Brown's teacher, right?
John,
Really not a whole lot going on, just putting out some fires with Mike, trying to get some temporaries completed, and it's been a very nice winter. I personally like it, but
A little gray, but
Yeah.
not cold.
trying to get some of the budget remaining expenses done, traffic signal upgrades, toying with the pavilion thing at Ned Hickey Park, and want to sit down with you or whoever we need to talk about for a location. Just real quick, my initial thought is to keep the pavilion forward enough so that people have a real short lunch and want to pull into the parking areas we're eventually going to create. They don't have to walk a long ways back to get to it, sit down.
Yeah.
But keep it far enough off the road that if a little child escaped from his mother or father, you have 10-second lead time to catch up with them or something.
Right.
Just trying to think.
Just have a little destination. You walk a little bit, you feel like you accomplished something, even if it's 15 feet.
Yeah, exactly.
pick up an appetite for your picnic.
So that's what we're toying with, the idea on that, and then we're rearranging some stuff in the shops and stuff, trying to get caught up from like hectic summers and stuff.
Right.
You know, put all the water parts with the water stuff and sewer stuff, and you know, just organization, and then we got a couple park benches to put up down on Black Shin.
Okay.
And those we have pads already in place for. And if I can get a location for the rest of them, if we do get some decent weather, maybe we can get some concrete poured for them, get them up.
At which park?
I don't know, Black Shin was getting two, I think, and then I don't know where the rest of them are going yet. It's up to the Parks and Rec Committee to put them. There's one at the Shannon.
Who's the
Greenway
Parks
plan.
and Rec Committee?
I'm sorry?
Who's the Parks and Rec Committee?
That's the Greenway
Greenway.
Committee.
Greenway.
It's already listed.
Yeah, most of them are
It's
listed.
already listed.
With locations.
Just go online, the Greenway plan.
But with-
Right in there at the end, it has all the improvements, and it has the improvements of the benches last year, I believe.
Does it have
Or
location
22.
specific?
No, it just says which park,
It says which park.
which park. So you'll know which benches go in which park. You just don't know exactly.
I
where.
think that would be a good idea, maybe if the Greenway Committee could meet out there and pick a location,
Okay, well, it'll be weather dependent, but we can schedule
weather
something.
dependent.
Yeah, yeah.
Where are you thinking? You got,
I just think it's nice to take a meander
oh, absolutely.
and
Yep.
pick a location.
Yeah, and anyone who shows up can provide input, and those who don't, no input.
I
Yeah.
really think that,
Can we schedule that, though?
We have a Greenway committee meeting next week. Maybe we can just schedule it for then.
What day is it?
Should be Thursday or Wednesday. Hang on a second. I can tell you.
Hopefully it's in my phone already.
Let's do that after the meeting. Okay. Yeah. Okay, benches, okay. You need locations for the benches, okay.
Yeah, if you don't mind, and I can walk with you to it if there's like,
Would be able to tell us if it's good or,
yeah, if it's kind of a real slopey, then you have to kind of build a big platform out and then do a long taper, where if you kind of get it kind of flat, we like them raised a little bit and then taper away from it for
that we
water
can
issues and
maintain around it a lot easier.
You can probably recommend where you want them to go, since you know the.
Yeah, if they got the general park location, you know what I mean? I actually think the ones at Hartel Park are really nice benches and see them frequent, and I'm not sure I've seen anybody down in the Shannon Park one. I'm sure there is a time to time, but that's really about it. Just trying to put fires out and then working, trying to get the beers to get updated drawings so we can get them in before budget season is gonna come up in February. So we have, believe it or not, we're almost a third of the way through January already. It just seems like it's clicking, you know? So budget season comes up February, trying to get things going on that. Other than that, just getting the trucks, we had just some truck repair done, and that's about it. These guys been serviced and stuff, and now we're just gonna go through and tidy stuff up and get ready for the work in the summer.
Okay.
So everything's on pause. Got a change order for you guys to review, change order 3 for the water project. And it's basically zeroing out quantities, and some of the quantities went over from the engineer's estimate. So you'll see some overages and some deductions. I think it added about 20,000 to the total project cost on some overages. You know, you get into asphalt repair and it gets larger than you originally anticipated if you shift something a little bit. So most of the quantities are gonna be on, I think, asphalt repairs. So, and then the sewer, there's a payment for the sewer, that's kind of just tidy, securing the payment for all the materials the contractor had to front up, so we could get the materials.
The
And,
extension project, right,
yep, and,
yeah.
and then, that's about it, really. I mean, any questions or anything?
The original contract price was $864,000, $437.50. So this 1920 would be above that, correct? Or is that, does this,
919, I think, is the end. Isn't it somewhere in there?
No,
It's 19.
918?
oh, see, it was on the back here.
Okay.
Got it, 918,734.
Yep. That's gonna be the total,
so this change order, 19020.
yep.
No, 20.
And that, that's gonna be all the payments, the project's completed, just, less the 5% retainage to make sure the grass starts, the trees grow, whatever, everything's working. All the punch list items, there's a punch list that's been developed.
Okay.
And then,
You still keeping the same, trying to keep the same schedule?
what's that?
Still trying to keep the same schedule as far as completion time? I had a lot of people ask me that.
On the sewer, yeah, I think we should be there for next
The
year.
same thing, I just say, hey, this is what they're looking
Yeah.
at.
I mean, that's actually one of the change order items is an extension, I think, to May 31st.
For the water.
That was a part of that change order, is to extend the completion date. So we'll get halfway through that project, the sewer project down there, and we might say, just it's not, you can't able to achieve that.
Kind of what I've been telling people.
So, the only, and the final thing is, I haven't really digested John Young's email yet. I understand I looked at some of them in accounting purposes. I understand that he wants to, spend that money in last year's, financial period, calendar year. So I didn't see anybody respond to him
Yeah, I wasn't sure how to respond to that.
I, basically what I want to do to that is I think we should talk to Peter or Natalie, and then if there's more questions outside of what he can answer that you need to resolve, I'll get to you. If it's something you need to involve Jody, then we'll go from there. But I think we need to get him an answer,
Okay.
because I'm sure he's probably looking to file taxes probably February or sometime.
Do you want me to contact Peter and Natalie then?
No, I could do that, because Peter got copied on that email.
Right, but he may be waiting to hear something from somebody, but,
Yeah, I gotta talk to him on some other items, so I can call him unless you wanna call him on yourself.
I'll let you call, let me know if you have anything, and just keep me informed.
Oh, absolutely.
Changes. Just tell Peter to be sure and copy me.
So just to bring you up to speed real quick, Jody, we're gonna let Peter kind of respond to Randy Marcus and John Young's on that email that John Young set out.
Yeah, perfect.
Calendar, okay? I wanna keep that going.
Figured we were.
Yep, so I just want to touch base with you guys on that before, I just gotta grab this yellow folder. Any questions on the bills or anything? Do we do the change order now, or?
Yeah, I have a question on the bills.
Okay,
Mike, well, don't look like you're wearing fancy boots to me. I saw a bill in there for shoes for Mike Scott for $180. Those don't look like,
2 sets of boots, one's for, well, it's not wet out or muddy out right now.
I want my money's worth. Where are these boots? Okay, well, that was my question.
Tie the laces together and wear them
I
around,
like them when they're,
so that we know.
I like them when they're focused on you, Mike.
That's all I got.
Well, do you want to approve the change order number 3, which increases it by $19,020?
I will move to approve the change order number 3 on the water system improvement project for $19,020.
I second.
Seconded, is there any further discussion? Carolyn?
Nope, no discussion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Jody?
John, we didn't need to do anything for the Uptown head crossing yet, right? I had it in my notes here about the transfer.
I'm right on that line.
We won't worry about it then.
Yeah,
Just-
I mean, I might be a few $100s short.
Then we can do it later. Okay. We need to discuss waiving water penalties. I've got Piliero, who is fine with having 1 quarter waived of 2708. Tokman also wanted 4521, but he's like, well, why aren't you paying it for all? So the situation is, when they signed up for e-billing, they did not go through both steps. They only did 1 step. And if you don't do both steps, then you don't actually get an email that says, you know. And so what I did is I took my home account and went through and have documented everything, so I have the whole thing. So it's very, I mean, I think it's clear if you read it. If you don't read it, then you're gonna miss it. But I don't know what you want to do about waiving penalties.
Waiving penalties is the thought to waive them permanently?
No.
No.
Because we have people that are complaining that they did not get their e-bills. So there's been a lot, I mean, I've spent a couple days going through and dealing with John at Williamson Law Book, Winona at Bolton Point, getting a second, making them send out a second, because what triggered it was on our bill, it says 170 people get e-bills. And on John's list, John is not this John from Williamson Law Book, on his list, he sent me his list, and there's only 112 names on that. So he's like, those other 40 people did not complete the process.
See, but that says to me that the process wasn't totally clear. If 1/3 of the people.
You need to go through it. It's if you just fly through your emails, yes, you're not gonna do it. But if you actually read it, it's pretty easy.
I'm sympathetic towards people trying to sympathize. I mean, I'm not saying. we
And it
should
went,
completely
and
leave everything.
it was going to spam too.
Yeah.
So what, Bolton Point has now done is they are sending out, when they put into their system, they're sending an email to everyone, an extra one now, to say, look, this is a 2-part system. Make sure that you do the second part. So they've corrected it in that sense now.
Unfortunately, there is a good chance that that email is going to go to people's spam folder too, and they'll never check it. They'll clear it out.
Yeah, well, when John sent that second, an email to all the people that had done the first set, but not the second step, right away, 13 people signed up.
That's good.
Oh,
So,
13 out of 42, you
out of,
said?
yeah.
so how
42,
many
so
dollars, how many people
Huh?
were affected by not, by flying?
Well, the
through
people that are asking for money back is Piliero, 2708, Tokman, 1/4 would be 4521, but if you do two, it's 87, or, yeah, 8767. Nicole Baker, we already waived one of hers, but she wants them all waived, which would be another $130. And Data is requesting all of his waived too, which is 80, about 80.
Can I ask a question? It's 4 times a year.
Right.
Don't you have some kind of mindset that?
Yes,
I'm not
I agree
thinking
with
about
you,
my-
and
I'm
that's.
not thinking about my water bill.
My mortgage is due.
Yeah.
Every month, I know my truck payment is due. Every quarter, I know my water bill is due. These people, I show some sympathy in some cases when a hose bib got broke off by a contractor and it's just spewing out water, and you got 10,000 gallons on your water bill because you were out of country. I'm sorry, but.
Well, and, that's why we were just giving one, we'll take responsibility for 1 quarter. But if you just don't call us for over a year,
That's a
and you
given.
don't pay your bill, and you still
Okay.
want your penalties,
Strike
after
that,
you,
said that.
after you've lived here for 32 years, you do know that you have a quarterly bill.
And one person that I spoke with, it has been a year, and I brought this up, and I'm almost certain, I didn't hear Jody's conversation, but I'm almost certain Jody told him the same thing, is that it's a quarterly payment. You should be expecting a quarterly payment or bill. If you don't receive a bill, you should contact us because there's a
Do
problem.
they follow the standard fiscal quarter? Like
It's the same every year, and it's printed in the
March
newsletter.
31st is the end of the first quarter.
January, April, July, October.
Right,
20th of that month, every year, that's.
Okay.
right. This person was very upset that they were going to have to pay all of their penalties. And what I said to them was, I'm only one person on a board. We will discuss it and we will decide. We might forgive some, we might forgive all, but I cannot promise anything. My real issue with this, and this is coming from my background in software engineering, is the system was not designed properly. It's not retaining, it's not using system capabilities to make these problems go away. I would like to forgive them all, but I'm only one person. I think it's fair to everyone if we forgive one, but in certain cases, people just do not, they are not as conscientious about paying their bills as I would be. I track mine through a spreadsheet. I make sure that if I haven't received a bill, I contact. Not everyone does that. So this is just a discussion. What do we want to do? Do we want to forgive all or forgive one or some?
I agree with you that I feel like it was a system. So I would forgive e-bill specifically, e-bill transition, I would forgive in total, and I don't think that deviates from our normal policy, because it's a one-time.
So is this for anyone that contacts us? Because there's some people that, yeah, I screwed up.
It might be
paying
5
it.
years from now, no, I'm just to date.
So the people that call, that request that they want their penalties waived because they did not get e-bill, you're suggesting that all of those be waived?
For 1 year, maybe, like, when was the?
2022.
For, yeah,
I don't think you can, and I'm not an attorney, but I don't think you can just forgive the ones that call. I think you have to forgive everybody.
A lot of work.
Huh?
That's a lot of work for me to go through.
how many?
I have to go through, well, 100 people and print off all their ledgers. I mean, I can
There's
do
100
it.
e-bill people.
There's
who did not-
112 e-bills,
Who did not do the
but I
second
have
step.
at least 50 right now
Who didn't
that
do the
have
second
not signed up.
Have not
Had
completed
not
the sign-up
completed the sign-up.
process, yeah.
So, I mean, I can do it, that's fine, but
What have we
but
done,
when are we gonna, only for 2022?
what if, is there a precedent? What have we done in the past?
We've done one quarter for everyone.
That's what I recall from some meeting.
But that's not this e-bill transition.
Yes, no, that is.
And we only did one
We
quarter.
have been doing one quarter for the people, because we've already done, I think, 3 or 4 of them. And now I have a couple more, well, I have 1, 2, 3 more. And then one that's saying, well, if you're gonna, I want you to waive everything.
No, it's hard to believe that you'd go a whole year and not pay your water bill.
I agree.
Like, not, you don't pay your taxes.
I actually,
Federal government wouldn't let you off with it.
water bill's not in my head the way the mortgage is. It's just not.
I agree.
The mortgage, I'm like looking at, make sure they got it on time, but the water bill, I could miss 3 water bills.
You forget about us water guys.
If I didn't get the bill, when the bill comes, I pay it, but if it didn't come, it would take me that long to realize I had to
Do
pay
the
the
same
water
thing
bill.
with your credit card, if your credit card bill doesn't come. You just don't pay it. Does the credit card company say it's okay?
I would probably notice that one, but the water bill, I have to say, I don't know, personally for me, it's a slightly different category.
Because it's quarterly, I think is the
Maybe,
problem.
yeah.
Everything else is
Still
almost,
a bill.
Yeah.
well, it's a discussion. Do we want to have a vote about this? All those in favor of forgiving one e-bill missed payment, raise your hand. No.
I love the quorum.
I don't know what that means. I'm
Well,
in favor of forgiving the
It
e-bill
follows the
error.
same model. No matter how many bills that they have missed, we would forgive only one. And I'm going to swing, okay, all those in favor of forgiving all of the bills? You're equivocating.
No, I'm not. I would phrase it differently. I would, right now, we realize there's a problem with the system.
Right.
I think we should address it by contacting people and telling them,
We already did.
and then saying, you've been contacted, we're forgiving the past ones, but not going forward. There was a second thing you should have signed up.
Right.
So we are going to take some ownership of that, and then not doing any more forgiving of the e-bills after this. That's what I would do. But you guys can vote without me, it's okay. You don't have to agree on everything.
So you're in favor of forgiving,
The e-bill errors up until the point where they were double
So we're
contacted.
2022.
Yes.
2022, okay.
But no longer,
Agree?
not from now on if they continue not to.
No, because now they've gotten the second, don't forget that second step, contact. So now there's a different circumstance.
So I have to go through all the accounts, find out who did not pay in, so you're cutting out all the penalties that you've received in 2022. Or do you
e-bill,
want to do
for
it
e-bill.
for people that have always paid their bills? Because now you're
Yes.
getting into, I got people that are re-levied every year.
Yes,
On
not
their
that, not
taxes.
that, not that.
Right.
There's the conscientious people who thought they signed up for e-bill and it didn't work because
So
they
if-
didn't do the second step.
So if they have not had
Any previous.
any previous late fees?
Yes. That's my motion. You guys can vote without me, it's okay. I don't want to.
I'm torn. One is, I want to punish the system, and the other is I want to make people responsible. And I'm not sure we can change Bolton Point system. And I'm not really, quite frankly, I'm not sure we can change people's responsibility. However, it was irresponsible for people not to pay attention to their quarterly bills. And so I think I'm going to lean on the side of Susan and and Pat and say, we only forgive one. And people want to come in and talk about it, that's fine, but it would be embarrassing to me if I had gone through an entire year and did not check my water payments, and did not pay my water payments, but used water for the entire year, and then to turn around and say, well, I don't want to be penalized because I didn't do my part either. So I think that we need to just stick with one. One forgiveness, as we've always done, e-bill or no e-bill. Sorry this happened. I wish that I had controlled the system when they, wish I had responsibility for it. I would solve a lot of problems, but I can't. We need to let Bolton Point know. I will write an email, and I will work with you to do that, to Bolton Point, and say, look, get this solved and don't do this again, because it's putting us in a difficult position.
Well, I mean, they've already found that they had no idea what happens once they do their part and it goes to Williamson,
Right.
right? They found that people weren't getting the bills because they're going to spam or whatever.
Right.
I don't know how to fix that,
Yeah, we can't fix that.
you know? They have been proactive in taking that second step of sending another email because, look, you should be getting this from Williamson. We're giving you a heads up. So they're proactive. So they're doing a good job there.
Right.
I'm not sure, like you said about the programming at the Williamson, I don't know. But he sent me an email and said, these people just did not do the second step and sign up.
It may be a better solution then, is the people who have not completed that second step, don't send them another email. Because if they don't see one, they're not going to see the second. But do a physical mailing to them, because you have their residence address, and they're used to getting cards, obviously. Send them a physical card and say, you need to finish this step.
The other thing that would be good too is if when they go to sign up, make everyone at first sign up for e-bill and paper. And then once they have confirmed that they are getting their e-bills,
Turn off the paper.
then you can request your paper off.
That's a good
That would
system
be a-
solution. I'll put you on my system.
Is there a discount for signing up for e-bill?
No.
No,
See, the problem was some people were saying, well, we're not getting our bill. And we didn't really have that much in our village, but other municipalities, because we're talking about 5 different municipalities that are served by them. And so they came up with this system that you could get it electronically, because everybody's going electronic. And there are some municipalities that actually accept electronic payments too. But we're kind of too small for that, and the responsibility, and don't have an IT team, and, having the responsibility of having everybody's bank information and then getting hacked.
We talked about that,
Yeah.
yeah. It was not,
So-
but too bad.
Yeah.
yeah,
But you can do it through a credit card, but it's they charge you their 3% or whatever. We could do that because that's someone else keeping all that information. But because we've been keeping surveys for probably 2 or 3 years about credit card payments.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, 2 years.
I've had probably 10 people say, oh, I have to pay 3%? Yeah, never mind. I think I had 1 or 2 people that said, yeah, I'll pay that money, because it's worth it to them.
Yeah.
But most people say, I'll just drop it off. It's not like anybody's far from the village.
Right.
Oh.
The exception might be some of the commercial accounts.
Commercial accounts, actually, it works really well for them, because they have the paper copy sent to the actual business, and then they're probably in Spain or Brazil or somewhere, are paying the bills, and they can also get an email. So that's working for them,
Okay.
because then they're not calling me and saying, hey, can you send me a copy of the bill too? Via email, so
Okay,
in that sense, that works.
all right. So the final decision was to stick with our single quarter forgiveness model, and multiple quarters that we have to pay, all of the quarters that they've missed except for the one that's forgiven.
So the single quarter forgiveness is going to be for their first miss, not their highest miss. Because that, you know.
Yeah, it accumulates, yeah,
the first-
compounds.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't?
You're charged 15% and that's it. It never compounds again.
Oh, okay, good.
And then the next bill comes out, if you don't pay that 15%, it doesn't keep compounding.
Okay, well, that's good. Yeah, so that makes that decision a little easier then.
Is this something also that you want to give me the power to do when people call? Or do you still want to have each case come to you at a meeting? For this situation with e-bills?
We can empower Jody.
I think, let me propose and see if the trustees agree with me. Let's give you the power to do that, but at this meeting monthly, report those that you forgave, and that way we know. And obviously, if there's an extreme issue, the person can come here and talk to us or can make their case. But I think that solves a lot of, I don't know, if it doesn't really solve your.
I mean, it doesn't
workload.
matter.
It's just a
I
quicker.
keep a list anyways to give to you at the meeting, so.
And obviously, this is the first time only. It's not an annual forgiveness. It's the first time only forgiveness. So.
This is for
Does that sound
e-billing
acceptable to everyone?
in 2022.
Yeah, 2022. Does that sound acceptable?
The forgiveness part or the whole deal? Because I'm voting no on the whole deal, but I'm good with the proposal of this.
Proposal for this, yes. Proposal for Jody being able to forgive proactively and then reporting at the monthly staff meeting. Is that okay? Okay.
A single quarter forgiveness.
Yeah, so we had three votes for single forgiveness, single quarter forgiveness, and one vote against. And that was actually
Well, why
one.
don't you vote? Who's going to move it?
We'll do a revote. I will move that we only forgive one and only quarter forgiveness of water bill payment, missed water bill payments, the water bill penalties.
I second that.
Susan seconds. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
3. Why don't you make the other motion?
Oh, I'm just gonna,
Well,
I'm just gonna say
Did I
opposed,
abstain?
opposed.
Okay.
Or opposed?
But make a note that Carolyn wanted to forgive them all.
I-
Okay. Because that's really what you're saying. Okay. Anything else, Jody?
Yes, can we go ahead and approve the minutes from December 5th and 15th? We have to do them separate, though, because Carolyn wasn't at the 15th. So approve the minutes from December 5th.
I will move that we approve the draft minutes from December 5th, 2022.
Second.
Susan seconds. All those in favor
That was
say.
Patty.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pat.
It was Pat's
I
turn.
was not looking. You both have some voices.
Oh, we need to do.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And one abstention, right?
No, the next,
No, the next one.
Oh, the next one, sorry.
Those are all ayes.
Okay, approved. 15th is, okay. I will move that we approve the draft minutes of December 15th, 2022.
I second.
Susan seconds.
Mike.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And one abstain, right? Carolyn abstains, okay. Thank you.
And you want to do the vouchers?
Yeah. Did everyone have a chance to look at the vouchers? And I know we had one question. Okay, I will move that we approve the January 12th vouchers and pay bills.
I second.
Susan seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. Bills are paid. Anything else, Jody?
Did everybody receive a copy of the accounting audit?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
A+, that was good. No, just busy with water bills and the whole water situation. Just same old, you know, boring stuff, quarterly reports, and
Well, but I think it's well done, Jody.
thank you.
All of the above, well done. Thank you for your patience, your due diligence.
Okay, moving on. Susan, do you have anything?
No, I think with the exception of McGuire, the planning board was happy with where McGuire is at this point, and next meeting, probably approved as landscaping.
Yeah, we were waiting, Brett was sick, so we kind of wanted him to review the stormwater, the slip report.
Is
Right,
there a new set of plans that come out about my concerns from the original meeting?
Yeah, Brett's been all over that. I'll send you up what they sent the latest.
Yeah, I'd like a chance to review anything in the right of way,
Yeah,
because my review was not complete yet, I don't think.
yeah, so they weren't going to pass it, but Brent's not there. They were not going to pass it anyway, because I had just gotten the information that night, the new set of plans.
Did they keep the structures in the road right away still?
I think they moved them, so I'll send that up to you.
Yeah, I need to see that, you know.
Yep.
And where they tying into the sewer, all that stuff is on there? Okay, yeah, I look forward to that.
They'll also, what they don't catch here, obviously, I'll hook you up with a set of building permit plans.
The what now?
I'll also send you a set of building permit plans when they get them to me. Those,
Okay.
because there'll be more details there.
Oh, okay, so we still have time to review to catch it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Anything else, Susan?
and Beers wasn't ready to come forward with
No.
anything at this point.
Yeah, we were kind of tired of a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, so I have let David know that I need the final plat with all of the criteria that I've sent him, sent to me to look over first before it goes to the planning board, so we don't keep wasting planning board time.
Did
Right,
he say he was getting my emails?
I haven't heard from him since you sent that email out. We're all getting the emails, and he was in a hurry to get things done and disappeared.
I've been sending them out for 3 weeks now. You know, once every week I try to get one out to him.
He called me once, and then he said he wasn't gonna be ready, and that was it. So,
Okay. How long have we been having these meetings, waiting for this final plat, roughly?
3 years?
yeah, when did I come here? It's probably been 3 to 4 months
Yeah.
since he's been going to get us,
Since he's been doing what?
since he's been going to get us some information, so it's probably been about 3 months, because we had a meeting before that even. Then we started giving him some other information that John requested, and I don't think he's even done most of that.
There's a lot of integral parts to that. I mean, and when you make recommendations for changes, there's a revision box down at the bottom that they had to date that.
Right.
That date has not changed, so we don't know what set of plans we're looking at.
That's,
Anywhere. So one day he could send us one set of plans, and then when it goes for a final approval, he could slip the other set of plans in. That's why it's very important to have those revision dates in there. Every month, if you revise the plans, you put a revision date in there.
right.
And, you know, and then little things like he had 2 meters per parcel, which the rules are in the village, and 1 meter per parcel. So he's gonna have to have 1 water line and 1 sewer line to a duplex.
Right. And a shared meter for both, right?
Shared meter for both.
David has wanted to submit a final, so to speak, without all the criteria on it, basically for the layout, and wanted the planning board to vote and say, yeah, this layout's fine. Planning board themselves didn't need my advice when I said, do not do that. We want everything on that final plat. What he's concerned about is he's not going to, I don't think, this is my opinion, that he's not going to start this project probably for another year. But he wants something approved so he can plan for it. Well, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So it's,
I'm just curious, I think I've asked this in the past, but I don't remember. When you change the revision date on the plats, are the revisions per page indicated? Or do you have to go through?
Pretty much have to go through, there's a note for let me clarify, there's a note for the revision
Right.
date. So on 1/12/2023, you pick the big ticket item, change the water layout on phase 2.
Right, but it doesn't indicate all of the potential changes on each.
It's literally almost monotonous to go over the plans over and over and over again.
Yeah, I was afraid of that.
And I don't think you'll ever change that. It would be like, I don't think there's a way to change it. Like, some of them might just be note changes.
Right,
Like, they might have the county in there instead of the village. They just, hopefully they changed it. But you have your record retention to go back to and say, hey, I told you to change that note.
right, yeah.
The real right way to do this, like John said, there is a box down there, and usually you highlight the change, and then any changes you highlight, so you're not searching forever for everything.
Right, but that might or might not be done, correct?
It might or might not be.
All right. Thank you, Susan. Anything else?
No, Mike just did report that most of the projects are moving forward. Down the road.
EDC?
Yes,
alcohol and
yes. They were,
They're looking for a temporary sometime this month. We'll see how that goes. I've just found out that there's a few electrical issues that may slow them up.
They're having a grand opening sometime this month, aren't they?
They're trying to get a temporary, but meeting with Floyd, there's a few issues that are possible.
Okay. And is the grand opening postponed until that point?
I haven't heard of an actual date yet for
Okay.
opening. I've just been
Yeah.
speaking with the GC over there. And
Okay, all I've heard is early January, so I was just curious. Okay, yeah. Okay,
so nothing else unless something has come up. Okay.
Pat?
Not really to do, but I do have an announcement, but I'm not sure I should do it. Should I do it off record?
You might as well.
I had decided I was not going to run in April,
Okay.
because that would be my term would be up, and that had been 14 years. And
Wow.
I really want to spend some time traveling and seeing my daughter.
I understand.
However, having said that, because of the Jeff situation, I don't want to leave the board in lurch. But I also thought if you're trying to get a replacement for him, you may get a couple of people interested.
Correct.
But I will stay on until you find someone.
Thank you,
I will
Pat.
not stay on more than a year.
I understand.
And that's, because that's going to spoil stuff for me later in the summer.
Yeah, I
Her
understand.
daughter's getting married.
That's
I
going
feel the same way. I want to travel with her.
You won't fly, let me. I'll go.
My daughter's getting married in August, but I'm going out there for about a month, so I'm, nervous. I'll be missing meetings now that we can't see them. I'm sorry, it's been a long run, but
No need to
I'm-
apologize for 14
Yeah,
years.
exactly. That's quite a bit of.
14 years. Man, oh, man.
It just seems like yesterday.
Yeah,
not to me.
thank you.
10 was the first time I ran, and I was appointed to fill, I don't know if you remember Larry Foresky,
Frazinski.
replaced him.
moved to
Similar
Vegas.
thing. Yeah. Relocated.
And he stayed in Vegas.
I didn't
Yeah.
run,
Remember good old Frank?
no.
He used to-
Mark?
Yeah, always used to chew on an ice cube during the whole meeting.
So annoying.
It would drive these little pods crazy.
So that's all I have to say, so.
Hold on.
If you want me to sort of, I've been trying to put the word around. Does everybody know about Jeff, though? Okay.
Yeah. And I have someone that has approached me about becoming a trustee, and I'll discuss that in a few minutes.
Okay.
Carolyn?
I didn't bring anything up because I have a limited amount of time today, but I'm just going to say quickly, John, I don't know if you've already thought about this, and this happened before I came here, and you guys have already completely discussed it, but I've been doing a lot of driving from Brown Road onto Warren at night, and more than once, I kind of thought there'd be two lanes making a left. And so I'm just wondering if that's common in the village, and maybe there's a light that should be at that intersection, or maybe you've already commented.
So as you come out of Brown,
Yeah, I'm coming out of Brown, it's 5:30, and more than once, and then I'm making a left onto Warren. More than once, I was like, oh, wait, there's not two lanes.
Right.
I better make my left a little short.
those are county roads.
There's nothing we can do there for lightage or anything. Okay.
I could talk to somebody at the county. You're looking for more of a striping.
I guess so, yeah, because I didn't, well, it's winter, so it's very,
Yeah.
oftentimes
The
just,
striping's kind of really faint up there now.
yeah, so maybe that's the issue.
I really think they're gonna be doing some road work up there this summer, so I mean, striping
Yeah, so maybe mention.
really help. Yeah, it's
Okay.
high retro reflective striping. And I'll buzz up through there and make sure the streetlights are working too, because they have been off more than they have been on. There is some streetlights going up on Brown Road at the intersection, and I think there's one on the north side of the intersection, what would really help you out, on each side of the boulevard. The boulevard and the trees are so big there that the original intention, the light was to shine across over the boulevard, but those trees have grown.
I mean, it's not super dangerous if you're making a left and you think that there's more space to your right. It's not a big deal, but also I did that twice and I was like, oh, this is.
Yeah, once you do it twice, then you're gotta,
Then I was like, Carolyn,
yeah, once it's like, I wasn't.
stop doing that. But it just-
The water bill.
Thinking there'll be 2 lanes there because I'm gonna be eventually making a right. So I'm like, sort of like preemptively thinking I should be in the right lane and then there is no right lane.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, yeah.
Just thinking about that. Okay, that's it. That's it for me.
Thank you, Carolyn. So I was approached by Drew Rydell, who, he and his wife installed a tram over on SD Drive a couple of years ago, I think. Drew's, I sent everyone the information, didn't I? Okay, all right. So I think he's a pretty good candidate. He's more an academic than anything else, but his background is in economics, which might be helpful for our budget process, never know. His only concern was that he would be traveling this next year. He and his family have been trying to travel for the last couple of years, but with the pandemic, it's been impossible. And their daughter is getting, I think he said they have 1 or 2 more years with her before she goes off to college, so they really want to do some international travel. And they had made all of those plans and have everything in place. Plus, he's got some business travel or academic travel related to his position at Cornell that he'll have to be doing off and on. He was concerned about that. And I talked with him and told him that, as long as we know, we can work it out, and that, he could, if possible, he could join us by Zoom if he's on a business trip, and he can get in that way, that he wouldn't count toward quorum, but he could participate. And also told him that anything he missed, he could watch through our YouTube videos. And his other issue was potentially not being able to attend the noon meetings on Thursday. And the same answer was the same during the fall semester because of the scheduling of his class. I think he would be a pretty good candidate, but he's, I think, around his early 50s, so it's another generational perspective. He did send me a list of the dates that he would be gone. February 4th through 11th, February 18th to 26th, March 17th, 19th, and April 8th to 16th. A week after May 9th, then they said that's tentative, and July 8th through August 3rd, and I suspect that that's probably their family trip.
And forward that to me, I'll check and see how many meetings he would be missing, that might help you, because it may not be during meetings.
I would be amenable to considering whether there's a different day. If he can never make Thursdays at noon, I would be amenable to thinking if there's a day that would work for, I mean, it'd be hard to move this whole posse, but I personally
We used to do meetings
find
on
Thursdays inconvenient. Like something always comes up, like right now, I'm feeling the crunch.
We used to do noon meetings on Wednesdays before.
Would anyone have a problem if we,
Here for that? That was the first few years, I guess.
would anyone have a problem if we moved it to Wednesdays during the fall?
Oh, we.
On Friday or Monday.
Yeah.
Do you want to see if
But
he
we'll-
has
I mean, we'll look into
other
it.
availabilities?
I'll look into it for you.
I'm sorry, say
Do you want to
again.
ask him if it's Thursday specific? That's the issue, if he has other noon availabilities?
If we do it on Wednesday? I'll check with him this afternoon.
The nice thing is about Thursdays, it gives us enough time. Sometimes I don't get my bills in anytime.
Guess what? You're gonna get them to me Thursday before you leave.
If you don't come until.
Friday.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
Technically, a week before, they're supposed to be in.
yeah, I try to give them.
It used to be like a hard deadline. You had to have it in by the Wednesday before the meeting, but, you know, I'm like, well, if I can still sneak it in, I'll do it for you guys, but it used to be a hard deadline.
So that's a potential issue then.
Anything will work for us except Mondays and Fridays.
Okay, all right. I will contact Drew this afternoon, and I'll let everyone know by email what he said. I was pleasantly surprised. He basically, I said, what made you want to do this? He said, well, I've been in academia for a long time, and I was thinking that I should do something different with my spare time. He said, and then I got the email from Jody, and he said that made me think that, well, yeah, I could just contribute to the village. And so,
But has he been in the village a long time?
I don't think he's been.
No, they
in-
came when they built that tram, so it's like 4 years, right?
I think he's.
Oh, that's the one that has a fan?
Right.
They cleared out if you turn on the SD, it's the last one before you get back on it.
Oh, okay.
Right. I don't think he's been in this area long.
No, I read, no, he has not. He came from Princeton.
No, we tested.
If I'm correct. But certainly if he has an interest,
Yeah.
we can be flexible. I mean, given now with the new knowledge that Pat.
I have an email to the person who runs the Shannon Park listserv. She hasn't sent it out yet about the trustee, but it worked great with the BZA. I got 2 replies to that.
Okay.
And if she doesn't send it out today, I'm gonna ask her why not, because I took your email and then I added some flowery language about how fantastic it is.
Are
It
you
worked for
saying
the
that I'm a
BZA.
bad writer?
No, not at all. I forwarded your email and I
And the
said,
other thing is too, everybody that's on that list, can you get them on our listserv for the village?
and I personally, I can ask,
Send out a message and go to the website.
if I ask Connie to send another email, she's not, already the second one, she's dragging her feet on, but I don't see why not. Okay, so what do you want me to do?
Or give me
Share that?
share it with me.
Okay, here's what I'll do. After the trustee email goes out, I'll give Connie a little time over her house, and then I'll send another email to her that says, please send this out, and that email will say, I'd like to share all your emails with the village. If you have a problem with that, get back to me. Then maybe I can then share all the emails.
Yeah, the neighborhood listservs are kind of problematic. Some people don't want to be on a broad, not everyone. Some people.
But I
don't
mean,
want to.
sending out for Christmas trees, we don't send a whole lot. The
No, we send-
newsletters are out, the Christmas trees, brush pickup.
Yeah.
I don't like when
Probably-
my neighbors tell me they saw a fox, which does happen.
That sounds like ours.
I'm like, guys, this is not crucial information.
Or if I
Until I get
just
chickens,
knew
then it will be.
that the people that are sending out these listservs are on ours, so that they get the
Oh,
information.
so Connie, yeah, you
Yeah,
want
so
Connie
make sure
specifically.
Connie's on
Yeah,
ours.
okay,
they can
okay.
just-
And then she can send out whatever
She
she
wants,
wants.
okay. I'll ask her that, too.
Okay.
Okay.
I do the same thing with Roy Hogman. It gets it too. I just didn't know anything about Shannon Park, so thank you for doing that.
Connie's got the listserv in her. She's the new creator of the, controller of the list.
I will try to get Drew to attend our Monday night meeting, just so we can introduce himself and so.
The BZA connection might be good, because we might be losing John Weiser also.
Yes, I was thinking that. I mean, that's a way to get involved in the village with
Yep.
immediately, or just sense of what we're all about.
Right.
Did either of those 2 women connect with Lynn?
One did. I got an email from one, I can't remember, Andrea,
Okay, and not Marcy?
not yet. No, she just didn't copy me. She might have just contacted Lynn about me.
Okay.
I can.
I don't know Andrea, but I know Marcy. Ask her.
Pat, there's no need to apologize, and we appreciate everything you've always done for
14
the
years.
village. So I'm just jealous that you get to travel. I want to travel too. Deborah and I really want to travel too, so I completely understand. So thank you for
I think at my first board meeting, it was, when he's still around, Eric.
No. Oh, no, better go before he starts on.
14.
He who shall not be named.
Well, I don't see him much anymore, but I'll be sure to mow some of your bushes down so you come out.
You want to beat him now?
Beat him up. I thought it would be all over before I sort of resigned, but no, he's still around.
Close, though. I don't think I have anything else for today. So,
Chris and Ned don't get.
oh, yeah, sorry, you guys,
In fact,
I jumped right over.
I must have copied my notes. He had said everything I was gonna say, so. I got nothing.
Took the words right out of my mouth, too.
Okay, well, it sounds like you're just kind of in preparation mode, cleanup mode, waiting for the snow, right? That won't come.
You know, last year at this time, we started to get St. Joseph's ready because we had a winter similar to this. And as soon as we got things starting to order, it just,
Yeah.
Can we get those library boxes up? Or
yeah,
do that?
yeah, it's on our list.
Oh, they weren't here, I was gonna ask.
They're up to shop, yeah.
Yeah. Chris took them up to remind them that they had to go
At least they
in.
got out of here, that's
Couple
like
months
one
ago.
step towards.
A nice birdhouse.
John, how many benches do we have at this point, but minus the
Six.
There's 6 up there.
So 2 for
Yeah.
Black Chin and 4 others, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Do you have, I mean, there's nothing up to Ned Hickey Park yet, but we'll have the pavilion up there,
Yeah,
and small.
that one's supposed to have a bench, yeah, and,
Is that,
yeah,
oh,
one.
okay,
And I was going to say earlier that your idea about the pavilion is what I was thinking too, is to have it close to the Leafs Way, the curve, and, but far enough away where kids can get out. And we'll have a bench probably around that, maybe between, just farther on in the park.
the trail from David Beer's property, if it ever happens, is gonna play an integral factor in where the pavilion would actually
Yeah.
be located. I think you had originally, and Carolyn, we had talked about something during the budget stages years ago, last year, I think it was, and so we'll kind of figure that out and play that in there, but I would like to, some of our thinking is on-street parking, very similar to what is up to Northwoods, just because that is a really sharp 90-degree traffic calming corner, and we'll have to play the parking as an integral factor in there. It's always wet there, so with parking, we can do drainage. I had David Fernandez looking into the trees going along there, and he suggested some kind of birch, and I think we need to protect Two Leafs Way and need to go back to some kind of a conifer tree, low ground bearing, with some noise buffering.
Okay.
We don't want to disrupt neighbors up there. They would be the most impacted.
Right.
So anyway.
Okay.
I'd like to meet with you up there
Yep.
sometime next week,
Okay.
and we can go forward.
I'll see if I can get our Greenway committee to meet, if the weather permits, obviously, meet you, and we can just talk about that one and maybe drive over to 1 or 2 of the others and work on those 2.
Okay, so next Wednesday's
Thursday, in fact, I was gonna double check. I'll check right after this meeting, so,
yeah, send me a note. Maybe I'll try to scoot in on that one.
okay.
If you're starting to work on your budget too, remember to add picnic tables for that pavilion.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I will move that we adjourn.
I second.
Susan seconds.
I gotta take this.
Favor, say aye. Aye. We are ending the meeting at 1:08. Thanks, everyone.